So, how y'all be, man? How y'all be?
Man, better now, man. I tell you what, it's good seeing y'all every time,
Yes, sir.
every time.
For sure, man. For sure.
Yeah.
How you doing, Darius B?
Bing bang. You know what's coming.
Yeah.
Byron. Who? Byron. All right. Man, I'm good, man. It's a new day. It's a new day. New day, new mercies.
Hey.
New day, new mercies.
That's a bar.
Man, that's a verse. That's a script.
That's
That's a script.
Since you brought it there, man, what's the Lord been showing you recently, bro? Let's just cut to it, bro. There's nothing soft about it. Let's just get to it, bro.
Let me see if I can. Let me see. Man, you know, when I look at it, man, the world is like, it's funny. The Bible mentions it. It talks about the end of the world being like a woman giving birth, right? Birthing pains, right? Things like that, right? So when I look at it, I see life a lot like that too. So this came about in a discussion with my sister. So she told me, she was like, check this out. She was like, you remember you told me a baby's blood and a mother's blood don't mix when they're in the womb, when the baby's in the womb, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, man, that's interesting. And I started thinking about life and then scriptures, how earth is like a mother, right? They say Mother Earth, right? They always talk about the Mother Earth part. But I wonder how many people understand how true to life that could be. If there's a mother that the planet you're born from, you're in it like it's a womb. Mm-hmm. And the trees and the fruits and the food that you get from the earth, it feeds you as a mother would. If a mother with a baby in her stomach, she eating all the food and the baby getting the nutrients out the food through the umbilical cord. And how we sit on earth and we eat other fruits of the earth. And it's kind of like the same thing. And I was like, man, that's kind of an interesting parallel, that the world will be like a womb. And they talk about, womb really mean matrix once you get into etymology and stuff like that. But I was looking at that and I was like, man, like that makes so much sense. And then I started looking at different, like, other aspects of it, and it just hit me. So that's something I've been looking into real tough. What about y'all?
Man, for me, I don't know, man. God's just been telling me to listen, bro. Like, I think that's just been the main thing, bro. It's just to listen. We get so caught up with just trying to, ripping and running, going to and from, dealing with all type of things that's going through life. And a lot of times when we do that and we don't take the time to just pause and reflect and, spend time with God and whatnot, like, it's real easy to get lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? It's real easy to miss God talking to you, because, like, a lot of people think God talking to you is like something you see in the Bible or something. You know what I mean? Like, they do a lot of, like, people were actually having, like, legit vocal conversations with God, and God was talking back and they was able to hear him. That don't happen these days. Well, I'll put it like this. I haven't had that experience, okay? I'm going to put it like that. I'm not going to say it don't happen to people, but I haven't had that experience. So how God talks to me, it's just about me noticing certain things. You know what I mean? Like me pausing and looking at a certain situation and just getting some kind of, like, voice from, like, the Holy Spirit being like, no, yes, or you should do this, you should do that. Maybe you should go about it this way or something like that. And by me listening, by me obeying and everything, like, it's been doing wonders for me, especially in this time in the season of my life where there's just a lot of things going on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going through my own trials and tribulations right now in this season. But if I wasn't able to hear God, I wouldn't be able to keep it together. Like, God's been telling me all this whole time, everything's been going on, like, yo, I'm here. Like, I understand things is going left and right, and you have this idea that things is going to go this way, but it's actually going this way. Like, I get that, and I understand it's frustrating, it's hurtful, whatever, but I'm here. just so long as you keep the faith and everything else like that, everything is gonna be all right. You might not be able to see it, you might not be able to comprehend it, but you know what I mean. Like it's gonna be okay. You know. So good, man. God just been telling me to listen, bro, and that's what I've been doing.
You know, that makes me think about this. What I used to think about a couple of years ago was just how, you know, there's this, people talk about their conscience, right? And I'm like, well, the conscience for the believer has to be the Holy Spirit. And then it begs the argument of what's the conscience for people who aren't people of faith. And I've always wondered if that's still the Holy Spirit trying to speak to something within the core of our humanity that needs God and desires God, but because humanity kind of like, you know, ignores it. I just wonder, like, you know, if that voice is within the people who are considered non-believers, right? Then, and that because of that inherent need that we have for God in the way we were created and wired to be in communion with God. Yeah, I don't know. I just wonder if that's like if we could call that a marking of like another marking of things in the Bible being real, and hoping to use that as a tool to maybe, you know, captivate people and understand like who Christ is. I don't know. I just wonder if it's a tool, something that can be used in an apologetic nature, maybe, you know, to argue that, you know, because we are created with that necessity, and because your morality is universal. But what is universally sit upon? What is that voice that everybody claims to have calls out to them? Is it just societal norms and cultural norms within which you're in, and you disappointing those or failing to meet those is that voice in your head telling you that you messed up, or is that the Holy Spirit? For all people, not just people who are believers. I don't know. I guess the scripture would say no, because the Holy Spirit is only to those who believe in Christ. Is that his burial, death, and resurrection? So death, burial, and resurrection. Said out of order, but yeah. But that was something I would think about like years ago.
No,
man.
I mean, how? And y'all correct me if I'm totally off and I'm wrong on this, but like a way how you could like differentiate from it, whether you feel like you hearing just your conscience or just some random thoughts, so you can hear God, is like tested against the word.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like if your conscience or whatnot is telling you to do something that's not biblical or something that you think that God would frown upon, then that ain't the Spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you.
You know,
man. It's funny you brought that up. That was something I even thought about. Like, and I heard that I'm gonna say this. The scripture I used in reference to that was like, say the laws written on their hearts. You know, he wrote God wrote his laws on their hearts. And I was like, man, I wonder if that's what, because it's like, even you have some sense of what the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like your first time stealing a piece of candy, you be like, my mama told me not to steal. Mm-hmm. You know, but it's not just, is it just because mom's told you or your pops told you, or is it because, like, on top of that, you get this knowing? It's deeper than the word of don't steal, because that's just a command, and if you don't take it with any value, then it's just words. But what's that thing right before you do the thing that's wrong? You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. Yeah. Like that's kind of like the question I had. It was on the lines of that. Like, what's that?
Yeah, what is that thing? Yeah,
that thing.
I totally.
You know, and before I became I professed to even believe. I think, you know what I'm saying, I had this like, you know, I shouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like, you know, learning the, you know, like you eat the, man, I was reading, what was that? What's that? I think it's Proverbs 4. It says the wicked eat the bread of the wicked, the bread of wickedness. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, what's the bread of wickedness? But it was like, then it goes on to say later on, it's like the wicked can't even sleep unless they make someone stumble. And I was like, man, what is that? Have I, you know, like instantly my mind starts to work. Have I ever been like that? You know? Yeah. And then, I mean, according to the word, of course I have. Mm-hmm. Of course I have. And I started thinking about like just stuff like that. And I'm like, what was that thing right before I did what I wasn't supposed to, or said what I wasn't supposed to, or I thought a wrong thought about something? What was that thought that right before that other thought finished? What was that feeling of I shouldn't go that way?
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's the conscience. That's what I begin to wonder. Is that conscience kind of thing? Which is along the lines of what you were saying. And I'm like, man, I think it's because he wrote the law. Like, well, according to, you know what I'm saying? Like, do we know? How much do we know?
Right.
I don't know. I got a ton of questions on this. I don't know if you could tell, but yeah.
Let me ask y'all this. I'm trying to figure out a way how to explain it so it can be clear, but what's one thing before you got saved, or before you know what I'm saying, you were in your Bible, you were learning things, what's something that was going on in your life, not necessarily bad, something that you were doing or something that you were just thinking ordinary, like, oh, okay, well, whatever I'm doing, like, it's fine or whatever. But once you started learning more about God and the Bible, you were like, oh, this is what this actually was. Am I making any sense?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a harder question for me just because I grew up in like with two Christian parents who were like drilling it in like every day. So my first framework of life in the world and anything came out of a biblical like worldview, and a biblical sense of morality. So I don't know if there's anything that I like learned later. I'll say this. I learned that there's when people say like, when they're talking about like sexual purity and things like that, right? And they're talking about like virginity and things like that. But sexual purity in general like that, I think people take that and they're just like, oh, as long as I don't like penetrate a woman, like that's okay. Like, or at least young people think that, right? That's okay. But I think that there's something more to that. That sexual purity isn't just an act. It's a place you go to in an emotional, like spiritual, like space like that's outside of just this like moment of you inserting like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Inserting yourself inside somebody, you know, or the vice versa, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's way broader than that, which is like, I don't know, the more I start to study, like, you know, getting married, so they're trying to figure out what the sexual intimacy thing looks like, stuff like that, right? You start to realize like, oh man, like there's something pure about this entire thing, but it's not just the act of like what happens the night of my wedding, right? It's gonna be what takes place after all of that, or what takes place before, like in the way that we love each other in between those moments of being physically active in that and outside of it, you know? And so I think that's something I learned later that was like, oh, this is like, the sexual purity thing isn't just cut dry in this one thing. It's like it's a broader type thing, and being sexually pure, or even looking at it in a more holistic way, is the way the Lord sees it and the way the Lord created it, over it being just that one act of that one thing, you know.
That's an interesting thought. I don't think I ever, like, the closest. Okay, so let me I got one that's kind of in relation to that. I did not realize before I started learning and understanding the gospel and believing in just that as a whole nine, that I had a Pharisaic-like mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So before I even professed to start believing, I just had these encounters that I will only accredit to, like, just it had to be God. So I started like learning, but I wasn't in a church, so I would just like read scripture, but like nobody to really explain anything unless I went to my mom, and I didn't go to my mom that often at that point in time. So I would like look at the 10 Commandments, and I'll be like, I don't do that, I don't do that, I don't do that,
yeah,
I didn't do that, and I've never done that, and I'll stop doing this. Like, that's how, you know what I'm saying, my mindset worked according to it, and it was like real. So then when I would like think about it, my favorite thought in that kind of way was like, I was like, oh, I've never committed adultery because I've never slept with another man's wife. And that's like my thoughts. So I'll be like, man, I may have made some other mistakes. I'm like, but I ain't do that one. That one I didn't do.
Yeah.
And that was like, I didn't know how wrong that was. And then when I eventually ran into Jesus telling the man, if you even look at a woman as to lust after her, you committed adultery in your heart. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they started to like, so just those instances like that I've had over the course of me, like, and I say before I got saved, because I was one that straddled the fence for a long time. So I had one foot in the world, one foot. Like I knew, and plus my mom raised us in church, so I even had understanding. But it was like, go with moms, and while I'm living with moms, we going to church, we going to Bible study, you know, wherever she doing, we with her for the most part if we in school. And then when I go with dad, it's Project Pat, it's Too Short, and it's you know, Ghetto Boys. It was all that. So it was like I kind of had that 1 foot in, 1 foot out, just even from young adulthood. So, but that was one of the things that I had that I didn't know was wrong, and it was connected with sexual purity, technically. So, or sexual immorality. Let me say it like that. It was connected with sexual immorality. But yeah, what about you?
So the first book that I read in the Bible was John, because that's all I was told to start at. Because I wanted to know more about God. I wanted to know more about the Bible. Like when I first said I was gonna walk with the Lord and everything, like I wanted to consume everything. Like there was a fire, there was a passion. Not say there's not one now, but like it was at its peak then. You know what I'm saying? So I started from the beginning in a regular Bible. It was hard for me to understand certain things. And it was kind of boring. You know what I mean? Like it kind of just, you know, it was like, all right, man, this is really putting a damper on things. And then I was told, hey, go read John. Go read the 4, you know, books surrounding that, John, Matthew, like all of those, right? So in the book of John, Jesus, I forgot who he was talking to. He might have been talking to the Pharisees or something at that point. But he was like, like people that are going to be of me, walk with me and everything else, like they're not going to be liked by the world. You know what I'm saying? Like the world is going to just treat them badly, horribly, different, whatever. And up until that point, like my whole life, I was just wondering why I just never meshed well with worldly things for the most part. I'm not gonna sit up here and say like I was a whole saint. I'm not. But there was a lot of things going on in the world that I looked at and was like, that's not okay. That's not cool. That's not what, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not moral. That's not, you know, it's a whole bunch of things. And I didn't have an exact reason behind it or a definition behind it other than the fact that, you know, that's not something I'm down with. But as I gave my life over and then I'm just reading more and I'm learning more, it's like, oh, I already had like some seeds planted in me, you know what I mean, from a young age, even though I wasn't confessing like, yo, I'm all about God, I'm all about Jesus back then, because that wasn't my mindset. That's not what I believed back then that much. But reading that book is just like everything clicked. Everything made sense. And it was just like, wow. And it's just another example of how like it's the living word, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always something in that in the Bible that's relatable to today. You know what I mean? Like it was just amazing and astonishing to see. It was like an aha type of moment, you know what I mean?
To answer your question from earlier, because you asked like, was the Lord like? Oh, I guess the question I asked earlier. What I feel like I'm learning from the Lord right now, man, is, you know, Ephesians 6 talks about the armor of God, and I grew up learning about it because of VBS, Vocation Bible Schools, and summer camps and different things like that. Like you just spend a lot of time around it, and I never understood the importance of it because, honestly, as a kid, it just kind of felt like corny, but not like in a rude way, just more like a, okay, well, this person's like, you have to put on the belt of righteousness. You have to put, you know, I mean, well, I think I got that one wrong, but yeah, it's like, but you know, it was all that stuff, and this is how you fight it off, you know, and everybody's like, yeah, you know, so that's never like clicked to me until now, man, as I'm going through all of this stuff with, like, you know, getting married and premarital counseling and different stuff like that, and like, starting to like see how like the enemy is attacking me, bro. Like, I think that sometimes as like people of faith, the worst thing we can do is not give like the enemy credit, which is like, no, he does not deserve any credit over God, but he exists.
Yeah,
he's real and he's working. You know, he's actively working against us. And I think that like people get caught up in people either do two things. One, they just don't believe that that's a real thing, or they believe that God is so strong that he can handle all of that, which is great, but they don't do anything about it to actually like activate that within themselves, right?
Yeah.
Which in comes the armor of God, where having all of these things is so important and vital to your pressing on and defeating the devil's schemes against you, right? And so that's just what I've been learning, man, is like that whole thing I've been like learning all growing up and stuff like that, like has great significance to like my life going forward. If I want to continue to like, you know, walk this walk with the Lord and hear good, well done, my good and faithful servant at the end of all of this, that equipping myself with all of those things is what's going to allow me to succeed against the devil's schemes and to take people with me in this war. You know, that's not a flesh and blood, you know, but good and evil. So.
Man, that's interesting. Because I remember I was talking to somebody a couple months back. I was like, man, I would hear that all the time. You got to put on a full armor of God.
Yeah.
And I'm like, people would tell me that, and I'd be so afraid of looking stupid that I would never sit up there and ask the most important question to me: how do I do that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and because you don't want to sound like, I don't know, it was weird. I didn't want to sound like, let me not say you, but I didn't want to sound like I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And be like, oh, I'm the only one that don't know how to do this. And it seemed like everybody just knows. So it's like, okay. But I was telling this guy, and I was like, man, I don't know how to do that. And he was like, you do, you just don't recognize that you know. And I'm like, all right, man, I'm telling you, I don't know. You know? but he wasn't wrong in a sense. He was trying to let me know, hey, you know how to do this because if you're reading your word and you know what I'm saying, you're letting the word abide in your heart and you know what I'm saying, and you're abiding with Christ, then you're doing it. You just don't know you're doing it. He was like, but you gotta understand that even as it's explained, it's a practical application. And I was like, what is that? And he did his best to try to explain it to me. I'm a little dense sometimes, so I think I got the gist of it. But that was like a really important question that I always had. I'm like, bro, like it's a lot of things in this walk that I just like I know about. But I guess that's the reason why I'm in Proverbs, because it's a lot of things that I have knowledge of, but I don't have understanding. Mm-hmm. And if you notice, he say the principal thing is to acquire wisdom. But in all you're getting, get understanding. So I went on this whole little exegetal thing trying to figure out what's understanding. What does understanding mean here? Mm-hmm. And what I got to was, it's basically, real world application. I guess that's the way I could put it.
Yeah.
It's real world application that gives you the experience and understanding. Like, how do you understand something unless you put it into practice? Yeah. So if they tell you, hey, don't follow in the paths of the wicked, when somebody comes to you with a wicked scheme and you say, no, I ain't gonna go that route, and then you see that later on they pay a consequence for that, now you have the understanding of why you shouldn't have done that and why what you made is the right choice. And it's crazy. I'm literally unfolding this right now because I did not realize this last night when I was thinking about it, bro.
That's how God works, bro.
But that's how it unfolds, and it's like so that's where I've been. And I'm like, I got all this knowledge, about certain things. Well, I ain't gonna say all this knowledge because it's really not a lot. But I'm like, I know some things. I'm like, but having no understanding of what it means, how does it apply? that's why getting the understanding is the best thing after getting the wisdom.
Yeah.
Because then you know what to do with it. And so that's just a really interesting thing, like when it comes to the armor of God, because I'll be like, yo, I don't know how to, like, gird up the belt of, I think it's truth.
Belt of truth.
I think.
It's,
I'm
I
not,
got the word. All right, we can find it real fast.
let's go with the sword. Ooh. I know the feet is the gospel. But I think the sword is the sword of the spirit. Or is that true?
The belt of truth. You were right.
Okay.
Best breastplate of righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
Feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel.
The helmet of salvation. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah. Helmet of salvation. Sword of the spirit. Yeah, but the Bible's the sword of the spirit. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So, but the practical application, that was my thing. That was my thing about that. I'm like, how do you do this stuff? Like, how do you do it? And that was my thing.
Yeah. I think it's helpful to remember. It talks about the renewing of your mind, realizing that's the renewing. It comes with it's on line with the equipping that's going to come get you this armor of God.
Yeah, come on go deeper,
Man,
please, because I hear that.
Look,
you got me. I lost it for a second. I was like, oh, wait. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
no, man, like the renewing of the mind is so important, bro.
Yeah.
The renewing of the mind is so important, man.
Yeah.
Like, it changes the way that you see things. It helps you with hearing God. It helps you with hearing, like, the Holy Spirit and everything, because you could look at certain things as being like a problem or something that needs your attention immediately or whatnot. But once you have like that mind shift and whatnot, it's like, oh, this isn't much of a priority as I once thought it was. Because now that I'm in my word, I know what this means and what this does and what I should be doing. So this isn't really as important as I once thought it was. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to trip on it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to be like, God, please save me from this, because I don't need any saving from it, because I can just simply put it down, walk away, and that's it. It's not to say that you can't pray to God for certain things, but it's just like some things that you start to understand once you have that mind shift and you start to get more mature in the word and everything. As you grow, like, you just realize certain things, you know what I'm saying, ain't as important, or vice versa. Some things that you thought that wasn't that important, it really is important. You know what I mean? But that all happens with a mind shift, because like, it starts there. Like, if you're gonna have a relationship with God, relationship with Jesus, like, that's the first thing that has to happen. You have to have a mind shift, because that's the only way anything is going to get to you.
I'll even say even let's just extend of a mind shift. You have to surrender.
That too.
Which sounds simpler, but is even harder, right?
It is.
But that's what it is. Like, it's a surrendering of it, right? Because mentally, I can't mentally make myself shift out of it, like, by myself. I can't. I have to decide that, man, I'm surrendering to what I know now to be the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So once you surrender to that truth, the mind can renew from that point of surrendering what you formerly knew as the truth to this new truth. But yeah, man, it's just like the mental part of it. We just can't even make that shift by ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you need God for that. That's what I'm saying. Like, how you say, like, to surrender it, because, you know, like, it's surrendering whatever knowledge that you have or you think that you have, and think, you know what, the things that I knew, they're wrong.
Yeah.
You know what's better. You know the important things. So I'm surrendering it to you, so you can let me know what's up. But within that, it's like a partnership. You know what I'm saying? With God, it's just like, all right, you're going to lead the way. You're going to show me what's up, but I got to do my part. I got to surrender, and I got to listen. I got to obey. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it goes, bro. Like, man, God is good, bro.
God is good, bro. Absolutely.
Can I say this though?
Go for it, bro.
But that renewing of the mind, that was another one that got me. Cause I think my biggest issue personally when it comes to the faith is because I used to search to absorb knowledge. I just wanted to know things. I didn't want to be the dumbest person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because, you know, like, of course it's connected to like childhood trauma or whatever, and that I really don't care to even mention it. Let's skip over that. Yeah. But like as I gotten older, it was like, okay, I realized I was. First of all, I had to realize I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. That was first, and then that was a big shock. Then it was like, oh, I thought y'all was gonna laugh when I said
No,
that.
I mean,
no, it's cool. It's cool.
I'm
It's a serious
agreeing.
moment.
I mean, that's the truth.
But he's like, you know,
The truth for it's the truth for me though.
why?
No, I'm gonna let you get back to it. I think that comes with like you said, like it's a mindset thing of, because before we get to Christ, before we surrender, all that good stuff, we genuinely think, for the most part, yo, like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the smartest person in the room, or at least I'm not the dumbest person in the room. But God has a way of humbling us, and it don't even feel that much like it don't feel bad, because you want to know why? Because, well, I don't necessarily know, because you grew up, your parents drilled it into you.
Mm-hmm.
But for people that didn't have that, like, God will put you in a room with people, like, from the church or whatnot, and they just talking about everything, and you soaking it all in. That's the humbleness of it, because you don't know. I mean, you might have heard some things here and there, but you're learning. You know what I mean? And like, that's his way of humbling, saying like, yo, like, you don't know everything, but it's okay. I got you. We gonna get you. You gonna know what you need to know. And that's how it starts. But go ahead, bro.
No, it was just, that's what it was for me. It was like, I thought I was like smart. And then I figured it, I'm like, okay, I ain't really that smart. I'm actually a little slow, but that's okay. But that's okay. So it's like, all right, so what do I do from here? And it's like, and then I became so afraid of asking questions that I would go and try to search out knowledge before people came to me. So when they called on me, it wasn't like, oh, you don't know. It was like, no, I know. No, I got some understanding here. So it's like, that's been like the biggest barrier to me, because it's like, because it's like, that prevents me from surrendering by having this intellectual mind that's more geared for, where the motivation is more geared to pride. Because it's pride that prevented me from wanting to look stupid. Pride was like, hey, you shouldn't look stupid. You should know some things about everything. That way nobody can call you stupid. But that was just pride. It's like, it's not wrong to not know anything. That's not a bad thing. It's not wrong to have questions. So it will be like, all right, well, let me do this. So then my intellectual pursuit became one of pride and not one of just general love of knowledge. Mm-hmm. Now, some of that was in there, because I just have a general love of knowledge. That's why I would search out Black history, but pride became the reason for the intellectualism that I personally sought. And that's been like the big thing. So when y'all talking about the renewing of the mind and the surrendering, that's been my biggest battle internally, from all the knowledge that I grew to acquire, and thinking, okay, well, I know this stuff, but this is something else. Why does this say this? First of all, why are you challenging this when you know the Bible is the truth, so everything you know is a lie, so why don't you just believe that off the strength of what it is?
Yeah.
Why do you have to seek to try to break it down to get it to an understanding where you can comprehend it, rather than understanding it for what it is, applying it, and then learning through the experience? That's been my biggest struggle.
Hey, it's a bar though, right? It's a bar.
It's a bar.
Hey.
No, this has been, and I'm just being real, like, that's been my biggest struggle in terms of the faith, because I'm like, I wanted the people like, well, you got to surrender your life. How do I do that? Why is that a question? How do I do that? My first question. It's an admittance of that I don't know what I'm doing, and that I want you to explain it to me so I can do it. But what if the answer is not in what somebody's explaining, but what I'm experiencing? Now I'm trying to skip the experience to get to the knowledge, to get to the doing, so I can just do it, but not having to go to the thing that makes it a part of me. And that's been my bad. I just went on. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, y'all.
Hey, bing, bow.
Byron. You hear me?
No, bro, you good, man. Like, it's interesting, like, starting out and just learning all about God and everything else. Like, it's a lot, but it's a lot in a good way. Like, it's a lot of unlearning bad habits and things. There's things that you didn't even realize was a bad habit, or something that you're not supposed to be doing. It's something that up until that point, it served you, it helped you, it protected you. quote unquote. It protected you. Felt like it protected you. It was God doing it all along. But I digress, right? It's something that you felt like you need to keep a hold on because it ain't did nothing bad. You know what I'm saying? But as you grow in your faith and everything, you start to realize, like, I don't need this for protection. I don't need this to help get stress off of my mind. Like, I can do this, I can do that. Like, I can talk to God, I can read some scripture, I can apply what I've read in the scripture to my life to help me out. So therefore, I'm not dependent on this thing, like, you know, drinking and smoking. And there's nothing against people that drink or smoke. I'm just saying, like, having to depend on it every time that there's something that goes awry in your life, because life happens consistently.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of whether it's going good for you, bad for you, mid, whatever, like, it goes. And if you're going through a string of bad luck and your only thing that you want to go to help relieve that stress is smoking and drinking, and you already know, you know what I'm saying, like, drinking a lot, what that does to your liver, you know what I'm saying? You know what smoking does, what smoking leads to, even with weed and stuff. It's just like, all right, well, I've done this, but guess what? The issue is still there. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother thing too, is realizing that your problems don't go away just because, you know, you handling it with a substance or something. I mean, it ain't even gotta be a substance, it could just be anything else. But just not believing in God. But once you have that mind shift, once you surrender, once you know, admit to yourself, admit to God, like, yo, I don't know anything, please help me, I want to know. Once you start doing that, you start living better. That's not to say life ain't still gonna throw curveballs at you, or the devil ain't gonna still be at your heels looking to steal, kill, or destroy, but you know how to handle it better. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this whole situation I got going on, like, it's personal. It's a personal thing that's going on, right? But if I would not have surrendered, if I would not have sought after God, you know what I'm saying, I would be dependent on other things to help me with the stress of what's going on in my life right now. And even now, people are just like, yo, you are handling what you're going through, like, well. Like, this is, like, if I was you and, like, all of a sudden it's like, yo, bro, like, I just know God got me, period. And I believe that 100% wholeheartedly, like, in my heart, my soul, my whole fiber of being, like, yo, God got me.
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't need to worry and stress about it. That's not to say that I'm not affected by what's going on, but I just know everything is going to be okay at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, joy comes in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But like I said, that goes right back to what I was saying, bro. Like, once you know and believe that truth, and you've done the research for yourself, you've read the scriptures and looked at it yourself, not having it preached to you, because having it preached to you is one thing, but actually going and reading it yourself and reading, like, all the contents of the scripture, what came before it, what came after it, all of that, it's different. It hits different, rather than a pastor teaching you a sermon based on what the scripture was, which is cool, but you need to be able to do something outside of just a Sunday or a Bible study. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, I kind of went all over the place with that.
No,
but yeah.
If you don't mind,
Go ahead.
I think a certain section of what you was hitting on, is it safe to call it idolatry when you put the thing in place of God?
You mean like the alcohol or the drugs and stuff like that?
Yeah, but sometimes it's not even just that. It could be other things, like I don't know, I can't think of a really good example on the spot, but like anything you use as a crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything, bro.
I think,
absolutely.
yeah, I just think that I was like wondering, and in my mind I'm like, that sounds familiar. I'm
Yeah.
like, but what is it? Because I was addicted for a long time, and okay, can I tell this bogus story?
Yeah.
Should I tell her? You like, yes.
No, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay.
dude, my permission for it. Let's go.
Man, I knew this psychologist, and she was a really nice lady. This was like back a couple years ago when I used to smoke or whatever. I used to get high a lot. Like, I'm talking about broke fishing for quarters kind of, you
Yeah.
know, kind of thing. Like, and man, like she was like trying. She was just trying to tell us like the dangers of addiction and how to like wing ourselves off. And we like, man, you can't get addicted to weed. You like, man, get out of here. Like,
Yeah.
like we didn't say get out of here. We was like, you know, like, hey man, don't put that off. And like we like made a big joke of it.
Yeah.
And like this lady was almost in tears.
Yeah.
And she got mad and she started like talking to us sternly. So I'm like probably like 22, 23. And she was like, it's not funny. She was like, my son had to go to rehab. And you don't know how many times we've had to put him through rehab because he couldn't stop smoking. All laughter stopped. After that, nobody wanted to laugh because it's like we didn't understand at what point she was trying to tell us. But we hear so many people like, "Hey, you shouldn't smoke. You shouldn't. You know, weed is addictive." And you know, you hear it all the time. You be like, "No, it's not." But
Right.
it is. It is not because maybe it's not always in the chemical of of the THC or the cannabinoid or whatever it is. It's sometimes it's just it more than likely is that innocent a personality. I mean, like in a person being you know what I'm saying, the type to use things as a crush. But I think personally I think weed is addictive.
I think it's.
I do.
I feel like it's just along the lines of like, you know, you can be addicted to anything that gives you comfort, anything that makes you like, you know, makes you feel better, anything that you like. It literally can be anything. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I think weed is addictive when it comes to that point again, where it's like, oh, you can't rationalize life without it, or you can't feel comfortable in your own skin without it. Then yeah, you're addicted to it. It's maybe not the addictive properties in its nature, but it gives you, it makes you feel okay. Therefore, it can be addictive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Like that's part of my like I don't like drinking coffee because I don't want to become addicted to coffee. But like that might have.
I don't like drinking coffee either.
But I have like a thing where I don't want to wake up one day and feel like, man, if I don't get this cup of coffee, like
It's
my
gonna
day
be
is
a bad
ruined.
day.
I got like, yeah, man, like that's
I
a
know
real thing
people
for me,
like
bro.
that,
And
bro.
I'm like, bro, like I can't fathom a life like that. So I drink coffee here and there, like out of necessity, but never like you'll never catch me a whole week drinking coffee for a whole week because people be like, oh, I stopped drinking, like, oh, I got a headache. Oh, don't talk to me. I ain't had my coffee yet. Da-da-da-da. I'm like, bro, that's bogus to me, bro. Like, I should be able to function without that. And my hope, and this is not to condemn anybody who drinks coffee like that, but I would just hope that for, at least for my sake, anything that I need from that state that I could get from God at that time, rather than trying to lean on something else like that, right? Which is not to say like coffee's like the devil at all, you know what I mean? Because like sometimes you just need some more sleep, or you need like, you know what I mean, or drink some water, right? Like I'm just trying to say the point is like it's like that's something that for me I know that could become a crutch, so I choose not to partake in it like that.
You know what's interesting? I like the fact that y'all use coffee because that's the one thing I would be addicted to, except it gives me IBS and it gives me heart palpitations. So I literally can't drink coffee like that, or I end up damaging myself physically.
Yeah.
I mean, health-wise.
I don't know if coffee gives you IBS. I think you just got it.
No,
And then just coffee
no. I
don't
mean,
help it.
well, I don't know if I'm using IBS, but basically, it don't. It's not like a lactose intolerant thing because I don't always put cream in. It's like it will make it
coffee
like
has,
tears
it's
my
like
stomach to pieces. Like if I drink it.
that's honestly most people, bro. They just
Really?
they just act like they just act like they good, bro. But that's almost everybody, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people.
It cleans you out, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how everybody is.
Yeah.
Everybody's with coffee, bro.
I
Coffee's
thought I was the only one.
Nah,
Nobody,
bro. Yeah,
nobody
everybody,
talks
bro.
about this.
Nobody does. No.
You got to
no.
search it up. You got to
But-
Google it.
Yeah, but no, it turns everybody up for real.
yeah. Coffee is just nasty to me, yo. I just can't. I can't do it. Like I could do like a Monster or something, but even then, it's not even that.
You can drink a Monster,
Like a
but
coffee,
you can,
like a coffee
but you
monster,
can't
or
add.
like a you talking
No,
about
a regular Monster.
I was talking about the Java good one. I was like, what?
Mm-mm. No,
That sounds
bro.
worse.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, coffee was just never. Like, I tried to drink it like when I was a kid, but I put
Yeah.
like a bunch of sugar in there, and at that point, what's the purpose if you just gonna drown it with sugar?
True.
You don't put no like Hershey's cream in it.
Son, I feel
Whoa,
like
Snickers creamer?
I feel
Well,
like
first of all, you
Mm-hmm.
you're drinking coffee, like
With
that sounds
Snickers
that
flavored
sounds
creamer?
cinnamon. You do the cinnamon one too.
I ain't do the cinnamon. I don't like cinnamon rolls like
That
that.
just sounds like candy, bruh. Like honestly, that sounds like a dessert, bruh.
That's
The
what
way
I'm
you sound, the
saying.
way you making it sound.
That's
It
what
don't-
I'm saying.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just
It's
saying that sounds like
delicious,
that
though.
sounds like dessert.
I'm not
bruh.
saying. Listen, bro. Well, he's arguing my point or his point of me saying like, yo, it tastes nasty. So that
Yeah.
so I get what he's saying. But for me, like, I feel like I've tried a bunch of different mixes of coffee, and none of them have stuck. But then again, at the same time, maybe it's because I don't have kids.
Yeah.
But
That you know of.
no, I don't have any kids.
Hey, Derek's like, I did that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No, like all right, bet. Somebody get married soon. Don't worry about it.
Man.
And what we just talked about before we started podding. All right, don't worry about it.
Hey.
Listen, oh, indeed, exactly. Look, all I'm saying is I've tried coffee a bunch of different ways, B, and it just don't do nothing for me. Like I can naturally get up in the morning at 6 o'clock. I can stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning and then wake up at like 7 or 8 and be cool. Like I don't need that pick me up. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Son,
not no more. Not no more. I don't know that.
And
I hit 30 and it was like, look, if I don't get up and stare into the void of space for at least 5 minutes, my day ain't gonna go right. It don't go right.
bro, like
I feel you, bro.
Like,
I feel you on a spiritual level on that one, bro. Because I swear, bro, I be late to work all the time. Because no matter what time I wake up, I need that 30 minutes in the void before I get.
Bro, I wish I could just sit and lay in bed, but I can't, bro.
You like get up and just start doing stuff?
Yes.
You one of them?
Yes, bro. It is so uncomfortable just laying there.
What?
Like I need to go do something. I need to go work on a book. I need to cook something, eat something, take a shower. Like I need to do something. Like I just cannot lay there.
Wait, time out. I hate to do this to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how long is your bed? The question I'm asking is, do you fit in your bed?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm gonna ask you if you're like, it's just, like you can't because you're not comfortable because you don't fit in it.
No.
But I'm gotta be fair.
No. I fit my bed. It's just like, bro, like I just can't. I can't lay there, bro. I need to go get up and do something. Like I'm not saying I'm gonna sit up there and be active and like go to the gym or go on a jog or something.
Gotcha.
Like I'm not that type of guy, but like for me to just get up and
That guy's cool too, y'all. That guy's cool
Shout
too.
out to that guy.
That guy is cool, but that guy is not me. I'm not that guy. I'm just,
you're not that guy.
I'm not that guy, pal. Like I just need to get up and do something. Like I've tried laying in bed. I've tried bringing my laptop, my phone, turning on the TV, watching something on there, and it just does not work.
Bro, I'm in the state of right now trying to get my like habits in a proper place, and it's so hard, bro. Like it's so hard. My ideal setup is I wake up around 4:30 and get out the house by like 4:45, 5 to like the train tour that, so I can get to the gym by like 5:30, no later than 6. Work out in the gym for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then try to get to work. Well, I guess for being honest, the real is to get up at 4 so I can get up to because the way the timing works like that. Get up at 4 so I can get to the train around 4:20 so I can get there, the gym by like 5:15. Then work out for 2 hours. Get out of there by like 7:30. Get to work by 8, and then be at work from 8 to 4:30, and then do whatever I have to do for the rest of the evening on that one. But by knocking out the exercise in the morning, then the work, I'm trying to have my evenings to be able to do stuff, but I can never get up in time to do it, and it's so frustrating, bro. So frustrating.
Let me tell you something. If whenever I get up, I sit there. I just sit there. Cause it's like I can't believe I'm doing this all over again. So like I get up in disbelief. Like, okay, I thank God. Because I thank God I got life. I thank God I got breath. In my lungs. I thank God that I'm able. And I just stare off. I just be like, and it's like I run down everything. I gotta put my shoes on, and put socks on, and pants on, and put a coat on. I gotta get to this train. I gotta take this commute to work. I gotta take this bus. And I just be like, all right. And then I get in action. But like so here's my thing. I think, this is why I think I have ADHD. Because a lot of people, that say they got ADHD do this. I am the most productive when I have somebody with me. That is I am the most productive.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I will not clean up nothing unless there's somebody there.
Yeah.
Cause it's like the pressure's on. It's like, it is. It's like, bro, it's like, I can't have, like, if somebody is not there, it's like, and then I can stay focused. Like, when I'm cleaning up by myself, my mind just, I'm like, oh, I gotta put up that knife, I gotta do the dishes, I gotta sweep the floor, I gotta take the garbage out, I gotta fix my bed, I gotta put them clothes up, I gotta wash them clothes, and the next thing I know, I'm laying down scrolling on Instagram for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I ain't did nothing. But if somebody's in the room, I can, man, look, everything be clean, everything be put in place, everything be neat and nice.
Yeah.
But, so imagine my morning routine. Yes.
That's crazy. I only need music to clean. I can't clean without no music, bro.
I like
That's
literally
nice.
clean up to like, I've cleaned up to like Joe Rogan podcast,
Well,
Joey
yeah,
Diaz,
a podcast or like some music. Yeah.
Jordan Peterson interviews. Like, I've cleaned up to like everything, but like music don't do it for me no more. It don't.
Oh boy, I'll be jamming, boy.
I'll stop, sing, sit down, scroll, think about sharing that song so everybody should be like that Instagram DJ.
Yeah.
I can visually picture you in the middle of cleaning, and
Oh.
then you be trying to search to find something to play while you still cleaning, and then some way, somehow, you just end up on Instagram and just sit down. And then you be sending me a
bro.
message or something.
Hey, bro.
And then you hit the group chat, be like, yo, what time we party today?
Ooh.
All the while, you supposed to be cleaning.
But
Yeah.
I'm serious, bro. Like, unproductive, unproductiveness be at an all-time high. Bro.
Yeah.
I need help.
What about you? Like, you need anything to clean, or you just get to it?
Music, but like, I'm so used to my life being messy that it takes something to happen for me to be like, I can't take it anymore. And then I clean. Like, I did that like 2 weeks ago. It was just like, this room is, I can't take it.
No.
And just 2 hours. 2 hours of just boom in there. Bang, bang. Everything.
I feel you. I'm getting better at that.
How long do y'all play stay clean?
Like 5 days.
Well, I live with my significant other, so the house is, if you let me tell it, the house is always in some shape or form clean.
Yeah, your house is always pretty decent. Like,
You know what I'm
never
saying?
pulled up and been like, dang, it's kind of dirty in here.
But
Like,
see, here's the thing though, right?
Uh-oh.
No, this separates the men from the woman logic,
Okay.
because everybody has seen the dinner table in my crib, because that's where we used to do the pod at
Right.
before we got here.
Yeah.
Nobody will be over there, right? Me and my girl will be eating dinner, lunch, whatever, on the couch. That whole area is clean. Ain't nobody ate nothing over there. Ain't nobody dropped nothing over there. It's just, we was just over there podding, and that was it. There is nothing that needs to be cleaned over there. But you let my girl tell it, no, we got to mop over there, we got to sweep over there. It's like, but why? Nobody's been over there. Like, if you were to shine the light over there, I don't see no dust. I don't see no dust bunnies. There's nothing. I'd be willing to drop something on the floor and then pick it up and eat it, because that's how much I trust the floor at this point. There is nothing over there. But she wanted, mopped and swept or what. I don't argue about it, bro. It's just like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, I don't, listen, it ain't that big of a thing for me to argue about it. But yeah, like, have y'all been in that type of situation before? Like,
Where, like, it's clean, but she just don't feel like it's clean.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I've
Bruh.
had people flame me into cleaning my room, bro. Like, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but like, this is one thing about marriage that's about to take place. It's about to be a point of contention, because with like going to her room, pristine 9 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to my room,
Mm-hmm.
decent
Mm-hmm.
1 time out of 10.
Oh.
So I'm like, man,
How's it gonna work with 1 bedroom?
this is gonna be interesting.
It ain't gonna be interesting. That room always gonna be clean, bro.
Hey,
You ain't gonna have no
'cause
choice.
You probably right, and honestly, if I'm completely honest, I'm okay with it. I just need somebody on my head at the time, not getting mad at me later. Like, be mad at me consistently, like right then and there. Don't harbor nothing against me and let it drop out of nowhere. That's what I need. Okay, because if you're always mad, then I'm cool. Perpetual state, I'm good. That's my life now. But it's the inconsistent, like all of a sudden the flamethrower just to come at me. Like, nah, like that's gonna hurt. That's gonna be hard. But she knows who I am. She loves me for who I am. But I will be cleaning that room though. I do know I'll be cleaning up that
Oh,
room.
that was gonna be clean. What you talking
Man,
about?
hey,
Ain't no just room, bro. It goes beyond that.
Hey, man, I respect you enough to tell you this. I guarantee you, the minute you drop a shirt on the floor, you gonna second guess. You're gonna second guess. You gonna be like, man,
Bruh,
and then it's gonna be like that Raven Simone flashback. Like that's so Raven. And you gonna be like, let me pick this shirt up, man.
Bruh, I saw a TikTok the other day where like this lady, she was cooking something, but she was cutting something, right? And her husband came in and he put a plate in the sink and he walked off. 0.5 seconds later, he walked right back to that sink to wash that dish. Yeah. And like it was just some type of caption on it, man. Like, yeah, like you know, when you married and you know your wife don't play that or something like that. And I was just like, yeah. But see, I got dishwasher though, so you know,
man,
that mug.
I wish, bro.
You need to look for that, bro. That's one thing off the plate. That'd be one thing off the plate.
What I remember was like, I'm now used to doing dishes, so it's okay.
Yeah, this is fine.
Like, but no, like growing up though, I was like, I can't wait. So I get older, have some kids, think I do dishes, great. And I was like, or when I get married, then she gonna do the dishes. Well, you know, it's 2022. It's different now. It's
I'm
different
sorry.
now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Vastly.
Before I hurt somebody's feelings and say something I shouldn't say.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, I'm gonna be doing my own dishes.
Your own
and
dishes.
Probably our dishes, honestly. I'm just making a point.
Well,
Hey,
like,
first of all,
you sound like roommates over there.
First
I'm
of
gonna
all,
wash my dishes.
whose side are you on?
Stay
First of all, stop trying to out me right now. This is public. Dang.
Like, what you gonna do? Put some tape on it?
Oh my God, I'm about to drop the government name out here talking like this, bruh.
I'm just saying. You said it. You said I'm gonna wash my dishes, and I just had to look like yo.
Hey.
We the reference to your video. Yeah.
Hey,
right.
we don't put it like this. When I was a child, I thought as a child, and when I became a man, I put away childish things. So we just don't think like that no more.
Right, exactly. So, yeah. Yep. What Darius said. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cause I thought it too. I'm like, man, my wife gonna do the dishes, and then I realized, and you know what? I'm gonna say it, bruh. Go on YouTube and watch them Reddit compilations, bruh. You gonna feel that small. It's like once somebody call you a man child, you gotta step your game up. You can't.
See, I never thought about so I grew up in the crib where like my mom did a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like she cooked, she cleaned. Sometimes she take out the trash. Sometimes she pick up the phone, and my stepdad was like literally right there by the phone, and I would just watch those things growing up. I'm just looking like, when I get my girl and we get married, or even if we're not married, I ain't never. Today, before I came here, right? Kid you not, I was like, all right, I need to eat something before I get over here because I'm not gonna eat nothing because my girl's cooking dinner, so I'm not gonna eat nothing after, right? So I was like, I need something to hold me over because I was helping her cook a little bit because she was making some yams, some yams from scratch or whatnot. So we was peeling and cutting the potatoes, sweet potatoes, whatever. So
this man get homemade from scratch yam. Go ahead, bro.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Go ahead, bro. So, that sounds so good. Go ahead.
So I'm blessed. So it's all God, bro. It ain't me. So she was asking, you know what I'm saying, while she was in the kitchen, like she was, you know what I'm saying, getting the other stuff set up, like, oh, do you need anything while I'm in here? And I had half the mind, because I knew what I wanted to eat. And what I wanted to eat was the most traditional thing a man could want from the fridge. And that's a sandwich. I did not ask her to make me a sandwich.
Oh, okay. I was gonna unplug everything.
No.
I was gonna say.
No.
I was gonna say.
No, but it crossed my mind for like a split second, and then I like common sense and knowledge clicked in. I'm like, don't ask her that. Don't ask her that. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. And I'm like, you know what? No, don't worry about it. So once I got through cutting the potatoes and whatnot, I went into the kitchen and made myself my own sandwich. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought about it for a split second. I was like, yo, yeah, you can do it. And I was like,
Can I get messy a little bit and air out how I feel?
yeah, no, that's fine.
I feel like sometimes I should be able to say, hey, can I have a sandwich? Can you make me a sandwich? And then sometimes I'll make you a sandwich too. But I don't want it to be a whole woman's rights thing when I ask you to make me a sandwich and I'll make you a sandwich as well when the time is right. But I feel like because of the culture and where we at these days, if I ask for somebody to make me a sandwich, then I'm like saying, woman, make me a sandwich. And really, I'm just like, hey, as somebody who loves me, can you just make me a sandwich because I'm hungry?
I think it's the sandwich. Like if I had to taste some cheese sticks, I probably wouldn't have thought twice of, hey, could you make some cheese sticks? Just throw them in the air fryer for me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
the sandwich thing, like that's a whole picture of like I feel like asking them like it's toxic, man.
Mm.
Like in today's standards, like the sandwich is like the standard for like some toxic things. Like yo, can you make me a sandwich?
Yeah.
Like they start having flashbacks to things that they ain't even experienced. It's just like, you know.
Let me hear it.
I don't think y'all ready.
Yes, let's go.
I don't think y'all. Okay, so I asked one of my BMs to make me a bowl of cereal, and they did, and it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal, and you know why I think that? Is because every time she don't want to go to the store, and I just so happen to be like chilling, she be like, hey, you gonna go to the store? And normally I just do it.
Right.
And I think that's an old male thing. Like, it's a double standard. I can't ask you to make me a sandwich, but you can send me on every store run to the grocery store, and I gotta carry them all up. I think it's a double standard. Like I should be able to sit comfortably and watch you bring the groceries in, if that's the case.
Right.
If the store was not that far from you, would it still be an issue? Because the store is literally like 2 minutes away from my crib. So if my girl asked me to go to the store, I'm not gonna have a problem with it. It's just 2 minutes away.
I
don't think it's. I think it's the principle.
Yeah, 'cause I'm like,
I'm just asking.
I mean, because normally, like I said, I do it anyway. But that's just because I don't want no smoke. You know, like that's just pretty much. Let's say it for what it is. I don't be wanting no smoke. I be like, hey, and she be like, hey, man, I might be over there. She be like, hey, I don't feel like cooking. You mind going to get us something to eat? Sure. You bared my child. Sure, I'll go get y'all something to eat. It's the least I could do. Like, like kind of thing. But it's like, if I say, hey, can you make me like a 3-course meal? It's like, who are you? You like some 50s lawyer that's gonna sit in the back smoke?
What is this, Mad Men?
Right. What?
Like you can't ask for like a meal like that?
First of all, let's just clarify. 3 courses is.
I mean, not really. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
you
was an
meant like
exaggeration.
a-
Well, yeah, no, I
Like
went. I drove right past 3-course niggas. I know.
Cool.
Listen, because ain't who is normally having a 3-course meal?
Normally?
Yes, normally.
Ow, sounded that.
Like my.
That's what I'm saying. Because like I was lost because I was trying to think about it. Like I knew what he said, but then when I was saying it and responding to it, like it actually clicked in my mind. Like a 3-course meal. So you want an appetizer, like the before thing, then the main thing, and dessert, like whatever the case may be. Like, bruh. So that's why I drove right past all of that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not going to say if I didn't get that I wouldn't be mad. I'm not gonna say that.
okay.
I think that's cool. Actually, I want to learn how to do that.
Make a 3-course meal?
Yeah, I literally want to go to culinary school because I'm like, yo, I'll cook for me. Don't even worry about it.
Yo,
Like,
not gonna hold you. Going to culinary school don't sound like a bad idea. Because
Nope.
I just want to learn how to cook some more stuff.
for sure, bro. Like, I want to go to culinary because for one, I'm gonna eat. I'm 265 pounds. I'm gonna eat. That's
Right.
gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to tell my BM them. I'm like, yo, I know how to fish. So when I be like, I'm going fishing, you better come on. Because I'm like, they run out of food, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna go fishing. I know I'm good. I don't know what y'all gonna do.
You ever pull some salmon?
Huh? No, I ain't never caught no salmon.
Let me know. I'll help you skin it, all that, bro.
I know you can find some.
Listen, man, I want pods.
Hey, I know you go fishing for something.
Hey, son, I want pods. Okay,
Hey.
that's all I'm saying.
And I'm down. You ain't never been fishing?
I've been fishing before.
You don't like it?
No, it's cool. I like fishing. I'm just like, I don't know where's salmon at is what I was thinking. I'm like, are they in a body of water near here?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I thought they were a freshwater fish.
I'll tell you off air. They're not illegal salmon. This
Sounded like it.
No, that'd be funny if it was though.
It sounded like
Like,
it, and I don't care if it is.
I got No, but seriously, yeah, the double standard thing gets me because I'll be like, man, I gotta carry everything heavy, like water bottles, everything, and I understand I'm strong,
Right.
so I don't complain. It works out, it balances out.
But you just don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? I'm with you. I just kind of feel like it's the double standard's kind of wild, and I just don't want to feel like accosted every time I just like want to stay. You know what I mean?
It's like just
I
be
just
like,
feel
no.
like, you know what I mean? Just like I'll serve you, like whenever you want me to serve you, but please just don't make a riot out of me just being like I'm hungry, yo. Like it's kind of. You know, I'm not claiming that on anybody, first of all. So, if my girl here, this is not me claiming this about you. I'm just saying that this is the tension point within myself that I'm dealing with. You ain't do nothing wrong, baby. Don't hurt me. Okay.
You don't want no smoke.
I want no smoke.
Hey, bro, I tell you,
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it, though. If I ask somebody about bounds, you tell me no, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna argue.
Yeah.
And like, hey, can you fix me some hash browns?
Yeah.
Like, nah. Oh, okay.
How y'all cooking skills? How would you, if from 1 to 10, how would you rate your cooking skills?
I'm nice.
That's not a real
Personally?
I don't care what you
That's
say.
not a number.
I'm nice.
Personally, by volume, like by how many different things can I cook?
Whoa.
The
How many
quality.
things?
The quality.
No, quality.
You can
Quality.
make
What
a
can
bunch
you-
of things.
Yeah.
But that don't mean that they good. I know a lot of people that can cook a lot of things, but is it good?
You know somebody that cooks cereal?
Hey, guess what we talking about? Guess what we talking about right now?
Who?
Food.
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 I swear we
podcast.
just changed the name to Not the Food Podcast. Yeah. All right.
I feel like one day that's just gonna be the thing for us. Like we just gonna it's just gonna be a whole rebrand. It's gonna be on the fly.
Yeah.
People just gonna be like, what?
What just happened? Yeah. Oh my
Like no,
gosh.
we're just talking about food for the rest of the podcast series. We're
That's
just gonna
it.
talk about food. That's
Yeah.
it.
I'm
So you nice? What's up?
me.
What are you?
Oh, like, bro. Hey,
Quality
man.
though, not quantity.
Quality, right? Yeah. No, man. I'm cold.
Yeah.
I'm cold.
All right.
Cold.
How about you?
I'm 7. I'm a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. What you give me, yourself?
Like out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm give myself a strong. A strong 9.
I'm giving myself a strong 9.1 just 'cause I'm better than you. Just because I'm convinced I'm a better cook than you.
You
But
convinced?
I'm nice.
You convinced?
Listen,
Hey, bro.
Listen,
look,
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Let's
Hey.
be completely honest. Here's what happened. Here's what
Okay,
happened.
go ahead.
Here's what happened. 10 sounds way too arrogant.
Yeah,
10 sounds way too arrogant. But I think
That's
that I don't
fair.
think anybody else can cook better than me.
You really think that?
Listen.
Hey, look.
Like 10 is like Emerald, John, Ramsey boy, whatever his name is. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna disrespect him, and now I'm like, nah.
Yeah, but like, bro, like I swear, bro, like I don't. I'm nice, bro.
I feel like
I'm nice.
I just got a
Didn't you have the pasta I made that one time?
I think so.
I'm nice.
Hey,
I got an idea for us.
Oh. Wait, I want to hear Darius
Go ahead,
bragging a
go
little
ahead.
more though.
nah. So look. Hey,
Yeah.
so since we talking about quantity, this 9.1 you talking about?
What's up?
Hey, so when you want to do this?
Okay.
Before we get to that,
Okay.
before we get to that, no. My idea is that, right?
Okay.
Listen. So we record this, right?
Yes.
Right? We get a certain amount of people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How you mentioned the 3-course earlier? Each of us makes 3 courses.
3 course or 3 pieces for a meal?
like
I'm not trying to do a
that man talking about three sides.
I want a full plate. Two sides.
Okay.
One
how about
main. One
how about
main.
this? We make a main dish and we make a dessert. Everybody here can make a dessert, right?
I don't feel like it. I don't want to make it.
How you gonna not feel like it? And I ain't even say when we're gonna do it.
You said cook, bro. I didn't say bake. You didn't say bake.
Dessert?
Dessert's different.
Yes.
I don't know how to make no dessert.
I can make ice. I can make fresh ice cream.
Okay.
That's about it.
So since you
Yeah.
since
like
you don't know
that.
how to make a dessert, so we'll just keep it.
I'm nice like
I
that.
can make you that fruit that they sell on the side of the road. That's all I got. I get you some tahini and some lime.
So what we'll do is we'll get some people and we'll just make a dish. We'll make a main dish and we'll make like 2 sides for that dish.
Okay.
So in other words, for example, a meatloaf, then you got green peas, and then you got like some type of baked potato or something. So that would be an example of a main and then 2
Okay.
sides.
Okay. Here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
None of us got an industrial kitchen, so we're going to have to do it one at a time because I'm not serving my food not fresh. You feel me?
Mhm.
Because I'm
Or-
nice like that.
or
Or
we can do it like a potluck, and everybody cook their joint. We bring it over there hot and ready. We have a meeting place. We do that joint hot and ready
that means we got meat in the middle though.
for sure. That's definite. That's definite.
So it's gonna have to be between
All right.
either one of y'all places because I'm always.
I'd rather we do a 3-part episode, like one episode that's 3 parts from 3 different days, and we do it that way. So it's like we go
That's
to
solid.
the crib,
That's how.
we eat there, boom, 20-minute, like 10 to 20-minute episode, like thing right there. Okay, so then the final episode is an hour long of us all 3 going through all the meals at different times, and then we call it.
I like that.
I like that. I don't think it also gives us space to be away from the meals that were made and then be able to like later be like, dang, how good was that actually? Da. Boom. Okay.
I agree. I
Okay.
agree. Now here's the
Alright.
thing. What's the layout? What we cooking? Is we talking scratch or scratch
Bro, you
or from
scratching
the
it.
box?
It's scratch, bro.
Nothing
It's
from the
nothing
box.
from the box, bro.
Nothing from the box.
Nothing from
Straight
the box.
scratch. Alright,
Straight
for
scratch.
sure.
Okay.
I'm down.
Listen,
I'm in. And like
into
go
it.
in.
I'm in. Hey, bro.
In the win.
I'm with it.
You let me know, bro.
Man,
Alright.
whatever y'all ready. Y'all want this culinary smoke, bro? That ain't nothing. You want this?
Mark, this is the day that we said we was going to compete in the kitchen and we never actually ended up doing it. Anyway, listen, I have to admit something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know I love mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm. On the stove or bake?
Oh my God, we're not doing this.
All right, go ahead, bro.
I've
I'm
been
sorry.
making mac and cheese recently,
Mm-hmm.
and I began to appreciate the art of the stovetop mac and cheese.
You know what?
I ain't even surprised.
I'm not even.
It's all
So, hey, listen,
I'm not
you don't
even-
know how much I just took out of me. I need
Exactly.
more from you than that.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
see me just give up myself in that moment, man.
Exactly. I'm not gonna rub it in your face or nothing, bro. All I'm gonna
Thank
say
you,
is,
thank
you know
you,
what?
Thank you, thank you.
It's all about broadening your
Mr.
horizons.
9.1. Good.
This is why I gave it a 9 point because I made stovetop mac and cheese last night that was so busting. I was sitting there like, damn, this is so good, and this was not baked.
And you ain't have to take all that time.
No, I didn't.
Man,
bro, I
come
didn't.
on.
And I was sitting there hurt because I was like, dang, bro, I gotta admit to it. Stovetop mac and cheese hit different.
Look at Darius. He waiting for us to try some cheese on chicken. He waiting.
Oh, that ain't what I'm cooking.
No, I know that's not what's cooking. I'm just saying. Like,
What
he
How
you
you
waiting.
know that? How you know that ain't what I'm cooking?
You just said
Listen.
it's cooking.
I could
What
have
you
been
cooking?
lying.
You
What
could
you
be
cooking?
lying, but why would you lie? We just had a whole
Huh?
whole conversation.
cooking?
about
Why I'm gonna give up mine? I'm gonna give up what I'm gonna make. It ain't gonna be cheese on chicken though.
I don't want.
it. No, I think we
All right,
should.
fine.
I
I
think
call going last.
I
Gary's going
think-
first.
I think we should at least say like if it's gonna be a meat, like
What's
at
your
least
specialty?
not.
Oh,
not,
bro, I'm killing it on some salmon, bro.
not
So this is what we should do.
we'll be the judge of that.
Okay.
But I'm just saying.
Oh,
I think it should be. We should at least tell each other like what kind of meat it is, so that way we all just don't wind up making the same dish.
Why can't we see who's salmon better?
Is that what we're trying to do?
so we
Hey, you look offended.
hey, is that what we're trying to do?
Hello?
Listen, man. Look, bro.
That pause was just like, Oh man, there was some hostility in that pause. Like, what you trying to say?
Hey, listen, if that's what we if that's what we want to do, then we can do that.
What y'all trying to do? Because y'all can make you want to do salmon, we can do salmon. You want to do steak, we can do steak.
I ain't doing steak. I'm gonna tap out already. I don't look,
All right, you doing
I'm
salmon?
good off steak. I'm good.
because I don't know how to make steak, bro. So
Oh, then ain't one of y'all beat me. I resign my position. Oh, this ain't ready.
yeah, if we talking about chicken, that's a whole different story.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold
Hey
on.
man, you talking too fast.
Hold
Y'all.
on. Hold on.
Hey.
Look.
I feel like somebody granddaddy. This is granddaddy. Okay, hold on.
Isn't what you want, playboy.
Look, man. I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. I'm with it.
All right, come on. Let's run it down for real. You want to do a salmon or a chicken cook-off? Which one?
So how are we deciding that we all gonna cook one dish? We just gonna cook our dish differently? Is that what we doing, or do y'all want to go the route?
Let's start off with the bases, okay? Like we're doing this for the meat, and then everybody else has to decide what they do for their side, or how they cook their salmon. But it's like we decide salmon's the meat, and then we need two different sides. We need a vegetable,
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
and we need a green. Is that what it is? That sound good? A grains or a starch. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Start. Okay.
We want a meat, a vegetable, and a starch. Okay.
So we's doing salmon, right?
Everybody's doing salmon.
Everybody doing the salmon.
You know what? No. Everybody do whatever meat you want to do. Well, it has to be that meat, a vegetable, and a starch. That's the quota.
All right.
All right, good.
All right. Y'all got it.
And you will be judged on how the flavors play to each other, not just I made a decent rice that went alongside. No, I want them all to complement. They all got to complement each other in some kind of way. Like it has to be a good meal. It can't just be 3 good things you put on a plate.
I feel like he's saying this to set up his dish.
I'm saying this. Hey, listen. Let it be clear.
Hey, he got a point though.
Hey.
That sounds like a setup.
Like, no, I gotta compliment everything.
Because he already got it. He already got it in mind. He already got the dish in mind and everything. How it's gonna flow together. He waiting.
He like, first
Listen.
of all, the top chef taught me that.
Understand me. I ain't scared of none of y'all.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right,
Facts.
Make it be what it is.
Okay.
all right,
Let's go.
And flavors gotta compliment each other, right?
We just gotta compliment each other. Yup.
All right, yo. So,
Hey. Yeah, I already said my mac and cheese piece. Never mind. That was it.
you got anything, my guy?
Man. Nah, man. Not unless y'all hit me with something. Man. Y'all, nah, I ain't gonna go there.
Okay, you.
I'm straight.
Word. I ain't got nothing to. Thank y'all. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. It's been another episode of Reset the Vibe podcast.
You know the vibes.
You know the vibes.
Yeah.
I'm your boy Vash. To my right is.
Byron!
We was waiting for it. All right. To my left,
You're.
there we go. We got Vash, Byron, and Yer.
It's
All
your boy Cam. You already know who it is. Who's that?
I'm still Byron. Man, I said what I said.
I stand on that.
Yeah.
I'm the boardwalk king.
Yo, thank y'all for rocking with us for another episode.
As we proceed.
To give you what you need. You heard? So, be kind to one another. Take care of one another. As always, love.